Welcome back to the Forex Fortress as we get ready for a new day over here, and actually just got done recording a new video, which I'm really excited about. But I'll probably release that. I don't know. I'll probably make like a scheduled release every week actually now with the technical indicator section. Anyways, with that said, we'll start it off today with the good old Dixie to get our daily biases. And yesterday it looks like I was wrong in this one, looking for a little bit of a bounce up yesterday. I still do think that there could be a threat of a bounce here, but overall the direction is still very much to the downside long term. We do have a lovely death cross right around here on the weekly, and more importantly, or perhaps just as important, we did break the critical $92 region right here. 3 weeks ago now, or actually, yeah, about 3 weeks ago now, in fact. So momentum also, or sorry, moving averages, having a massive shift like that, plus breaking structure, not good. And while, there could be a short-term bounce where we are right now, maybe it's already played out. Don't really have strong opinions on that. I do believe that we very, very likely do see lower, probably even just below $90, even at the very least, before the next medium-term bounce. So with that said, we'll go into the short-term timeframes here first before we get a little bit more excited with this. And historical volatility percentile very, very low, while hidden bearish divergence is confirmed here. And we kind of did play that move out. Maybe another swipe back down to about 90, 60-ish region. But I suspect that we're going to have to actually go into the minutia of all the major assets that we look at right here. So with that said, again, long-term down, short-term, maybe a little bit of sideways, maybe a little bit of upside. But we'll start it off with Aussie dollar right here. And what do we see? Let's go to a daily first. Actually, let's go to weekly first. Weekly still bullish, still looking at a long-term target somewhere about 75 3/4 cent. What about a day? So long-term still bullish, daily bullish, 4-hour bullish. Everything's bullish. Yeah, bullish on all time frames. I'm essentially just looking for it to grind its way and glide its way upwards. Looking good here, especially as long as it's above about 74.5 cent. Oh my God, actually, no, sorry, that's much less than that. 74. No, it does look like 74, 74.5. Yeah, just under 74.5. As long as it's above there, I'm bullish on all time frames, even the short-term time frames. All right, moving on to CAD dollar. What do we have right here? Very, very similar chart, consolidated at a high level after breaking the last major area on the weekly. Still would look for this one, probably around the same level as well, somewhere around the 377 on the weekly at about 79.25, in line with our highs in April 2018. And going down the different time frames on this one, would I say the same thing here? More or less, yes. I would be looking for this one on a daily to be bullish as well, as long as we're above, what was this, 7th of December low, which is 77.89. If that is taken out to the downside, I would look for another move back down here to test this breakout. But still, daily, weekly, still looking bullish regardless of that fact. So I'd be looking at that as an opportunity perhaps, and I'm essentially just bullish as long as we're above there. 4-hour, same thing as we just kind of spoke about, flagging out at a high level, looking more or less good, hidden bullish divergence at the same time too. I'd say this one's likely to be bullish on all time frames, and still gunning for that long-term target somewhere like 79.25, we'll call it, somewhere around there. All right, moving on to Swiss franc dollar. What do we have right here? Oh, weekly bullish, daily bullish, 4-hour. Maybe a little bit less bullish, to be fair, but generally speaking, trend is your friend right here. Trend is the upside. Just had a little bit of a flag out. It's almost as if it's feud like a day or two ahead of CAD dollar right here. You see the same sort of formation, right? Swiss franc dollar already kind of broke out to the upside. Historic volatility percentile incredibly low. So what does that mean? Probably do see the next expansion phase to the upside here. If we go down to the very low term time frames, trend is your friend again. So bullish on all time. Everything's fucking bullish here. I feel like yesterday we were saying the same shit. It's like everything's bullish. Where's the next long-term pivot that we see? I suppose it'd be right around here. So we are getting damn close. Yeah, we're actually getting pretty damn close. But even this one, I don't believe is like a major one. It's just it's just a little bit of a short-term stopping point, and that's right below 114. So I'd still be looking for 114, which is what I believe we said yesterday over time. Euro pound. What do we see over here? Ooh, nasty, very nasty. I believe I did say yesterday I was looking for some more upside on this one. I'm gonna be very much wrong on this one. Jesus Christ, I was so proud of myself at the end of the last week and earlier this week when I actually got some of this one right. Oh, that was very short-lived. That was very short-lived. I'd be looking for this one to come back down, but I should probably just not even be giving my opinion on something like this. It seems to be mostly just noise. But to be fair, it does really start to look obviously down now. What do I say on top of that? I'd say fuck my opinion on this shit. Fuck my opinion on this one. If I did have to call it, yes, downside, probably back down to like 89.5. but you've seen me be so wrong on this one for so long. It's just getting 2 successes out of so many failures is just embarrassing. So I'm gonna go to the next one, euro dollar right here. Very similar to the first 3 that we saw, flagging out at a high level here as well. We do have a very obvious range being created between this one just below 121 actually right there. Our last little higher low is somewhere around about 120.90. As long as we're above there, generally good. Just looks like a healthy consolidation at a high level with a resolution point above this guy right here, I would say, right around 121.5. Long term, still looking for the 123.5 to 124.5 target, but that's long term, not necessarily happening today or tomorrow, but we do have a golden cross on the weekly looking good, and daily's more or less fine here too. A little bit of a short-term sell-off, but as long as it does hold the bottom side of the range, I'm looking for this one to just be reaccumulated and go for the next move to the upside. Now, if we do take out the 7th of December's low, which is 120.78, then I would be looking for a little bit of a greater pullback, probably back down to about just below 120, down to like 119.80-ish region. But do I think that that's what's happening here? No, I think that this one likely gives another try to the upside. Short-term timeframes here too, mostly sideways. So sideways on the short term and up, using this as a little bit of a pivot. That's what I'd be looking at right here. Pound yen, what do we see right here? Jesus motherfucking Christ. This one popping back up here too. And I think I was wrong on this one yesterday as well. I do want to call myself out when I am wrong on these. Yes, I was. I do recall now. Oh my God, man. Is this one actually going to give a go? Wow. I'm going to do away with this diagonal resistance right here. I really don't like that. Next relevant horizontal is 141 and 15 cents, it looks like. And above there, we got the 200 simple and 200 exponential moving average on the weekly looming. Bullish on the weekly, bullish on the daily, 4 hour. 4 hour could do with a little bit of a pullback here. I don't really have a strong opinion on the 4 hour, but the trend is to the upside here, higher lows, higher highs. So I would err on the side of the trend, but daily, weekly are looking good. So short term, maybe a little bit sideways within this range. Maybe it actually even does come back down to like 139.5, but long term, yes, I'd be looking for it to give another official try to the upside. And then we get to play the game of, is this the next macro, is this the next macro high or not? Or right around about 141.25, we'll call it. Okay, pound dollar, what do we see right here? Very, very similar chart. In fact, very, very similar chart. And I think I'm going to be equally as wrong on this one. No. Actually, no, because I did call a pullback down around to 133. But I did not say that it's actually going to break. Yeah, so that was just a retest. So actually, hey, finally, yeah, there we go. Just kidding. It's all just ego-driven bullshit. That doesn't mean anything. Well, the only thing that actually that actually matters is trades, of course. And in this case right here, still long-term looking for 138 region. Daily looking good as as long as it's above the 21, above this 133 pivot. I'm bullish on both the daily, weekly, and low-term timeframes like this, kind of similar to pound yen. Maybe a short-term pullback. Maybe short-term is a little bit of sideways and down, but long-term is up here at the very least. Moving on to yen dollar, what do we see right here? I'd probably be looking for this one actually pop back up from where it's at right now, back up to short-term target of like 96.14 region, 96.10. Daily, same thing, looking more or less okay here too. Weekly, maybe as another stint back down to 95.75 region, but ultimately I'm looking for this one to give another try back up here long-term towards 96.75. NASDAQ futures, do we have new all-time highs? We do have new all-time highs. That's great. That's excellent. That's amazing. That's good. But a little bit of a short-term pullback here, which is rather interesting considering Bitcoin's current position. Perhaps I'd actually be looking for this one to come back a little bit more aggressively than where we're at right now, like 12,600, and then a little bit of a bouncy bounce there. Long-term, though, still bullish on this one. Still looking for upside targets to get hit. Gold dollar over here. Short-term high looks like it is going to be put in here, as we did say was yesterday. Okay, yesterday was a big day because I spent actually a lot of time looking at gold. Yes, it does look like a short-term high right here, and yes, this would be your traditional bull trap area, 100%. However, I would look at this as a likely reversal if you see on Friday. So we still got like another 2 to 3 days of trading left, depending upon what clock you're on. And if we do see a closure anywhere above 1865, I would be comfortable calling this a reversal. We will have hidden bullish divergence on the weekly, and I would start targeting moves back up towards 1950, maybe even 2000. By the same token, Looking at the short-term timeframes right now, it does look toppy here. I would be looking for another comeback down towards about 1840-ish region short-term. Daily is a little bit in limbo here too. I could extend that 1840 target to 1829 region. So short-term is a little bit of sideways and down here. Long-term potential reversal, but we need to see Friday, so I wouldn't call it before then. But for right now, yeah, short term a little bit of downside. All right, back on a Bitcoin, and what did we see? I believe that we did see our downside, or a couple of our downside targets get hit. Let's see, where's my Bitcoins? Where's my, for real though? Oh, that's right, they're on this chart over here. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that, the daily fighting for the 21. Nicely done, daily, nicely done. All right, so let's do a little bit of recap right here. So we did see the 12-hour Joule signal play out, and would I say that this is mostly played out now? Yeah, it's pretty mature there. Anyways, back on a topic, Jesus. Oh, and there we go. We got a new 12-hour as of just 10 minutes ago. Okay, so it's nice and fresh in its little dildo life. Sweet one. Anyways, back onto it right here. What do we see? So we did come down all the way to the 200 simple, as we spoke about on this morning's video. If we put on our drawing tools right here, that was in line with the 382 fib, also in line with our historical horizontal, and I believe there's a couple other points of confluence in that region as well. And now bouncing up rather aggressively. So was that it, Crown? Was that the low? Potentially was, yes. I do think that I do think that we're obviously going to need to see a little bit more price action before we start to talk more aggressively like that. But for now, it does operate as a nice low. I'd be looking for things to kind of range here a little bit, anywhere between about 18.7, our breakdown point of yesterday, and our current closing low of today at about 17.9, right around the 0.5 fib retracement right here too. If this is going to be your next major higher low, again, putting in time going sideways within this region is good. I mean, it's completely fine. But I would not really, I wouldn't really put my, I wouldn't really say that I think that we've actually seen it just yet. It could very easily be that we come back down and grind out this area a little bit more. In fact, I think that somewhat likely in some cases, but I don't really have any more calls on downside being fulfilled here. Whether it comes back down a little bit lower, even to the 236 at 17,150, I don't have a strong opinion on that. We got pretty much in the area that I was looking for. Now what? Well, now we get to play the game of, is this a reversal or is this a dead cat bounce? And for me, I don't have any calls to be made on this one right now. I'm curious what momentum oscillators are looking like at the current moment in time, just to get a little bit of an idea. We do see that historical volatility percentile is actually having the signature that we're looking for earlier this morning. The moving average is nice and upwardly sloped, and we do see that it is actually above what would have been the regression here. Or I guess I don't have it on anymore, but fair enough, same shit. And then on top of that, what else do we have? We do have 4-hour Stokes popping back up here as well. Let's just get this off. And I believe that all lower term timeframes are turning around at the same time. Yeah, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yep, everything on the same side. So it does look like we probably do, actually attempt to put in a higher low right here. But like I said, I wouldn't be in any real rush right now. Yes, I did buy some. I don't really want to talk about my trades, but you can basically figure out what the fuck I did by like the last 2 weeks of videos, basically. And finally, a little bit of patience being rewarded within this market. Although, again, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is done just yet. It's probably going to put in some time going sideways here, even if it is low. And if it is a little bit of a dead cat bounce, then, well, we can use that same sort of point, that same sort of pivot that we had this morning, actually move it up a little bit at the 0.5 right here at 17.9 for a 4-hour dildo closure. And that would imply targets actually not just down to the 382, it likely imply targets to the low $17,000 region. So I do still think that that's possible. You're seeing me be very, hands off right here. And that's just because, when you see something like this get hit, when we were talking about this, most of the time during this ranging price action over here, it's time to just watch a little bit. I need to see something else, formulate from price action and then give some sort of give some sort of an advanced signal. And then, perhaps I go into it. But for right now, target was met. Yes. However, I would still be cautious with this. What would be like an obvious thing? That's probably a good question I should ask myself. What would be an obvious thing right here? Well, I think the obvious thing to make me immediately bullish, looking at this as, hey, that's your next higher low. We're looking good, and likely back on talking about 20,000 potentially beyond. Well, what would put me into that sort of a mindset is if Bitcoin would close back above on at the very least a 4-hour, and I don't feel all that confident about about this, by the way, so take this with a grain of salt. And I would not be trading this way myself. But if Bitcoin does get back down, does get back above the same breakdown point that we saw yesterday, which was 18.8 or 18, well, we could use 18.7, right around the 786. That was marking off the lows of this ascending triangle right here. And that was also driving our targets much lower. So if Bitcoin is able to actually get back above that region and close at the very least a 4-hour above there, preferably because this is a little bit more of an experimental idea, I'd probably want to use like a 12-hour or a daily, then yes, I would be looking at this as likely the low, and we can start to talk about 19,550 and 20,000 beyond after that too. But for right now, I do think that a little bit of caution and a little bit of just relaxation after this is kind of warranted, as we do as I do want to see some more obvious now to kind of denote the next sort of a piece of price action. So with that said, I'd like to wish everyone the best. Take care, and until next time.